Hey, you guys, Cameron Massey-Turner here. I wanted to share some information with you. Uh, most people actually want to be wealthy. They want the cars, they want the clothes, they want the houses. But you know what? I'm here to tell you something. I'm here to tell you that the reason why none of that stuff matters is because if you don't have the grind ethic, the work ethic to actually go out there and earn the money to get that, then you'll never have the lifestyle. And that's what most people don't want. Most people don't want to grind and work because it's scary, right? You don't know what you don't know. But I want you guys to actually take a look and think about this. Any job that you've ever had, anytime you ever worked and made money, there was always a first time. There was always a time you were scared because you didn't know. You were scared because you didn't want to fail. But guess what? The greatest success comes from failures. Literally, people being great comes from failures. And what I've learned is all you have to do is do the work. If you do the work, God will add everything else to you. Trust me, I'm 100% sure. One, because I actually do it. I read the Bible, I use that for powerful motivation. And then two is because God also taught me a lot of things. It never matters where you start, it matters where you're going, where you're going to finish. And when you step outside of your comfort zone, he will bless you. And that's what we do. We have been stepping out of our comfort zone, talking to different business owners, talking to different businesses. We've been showing people how to actually work for themselves or how to get more customers and clients. But we only learned that by actually going through the process. And that process is learning how to grind. That process is learning how to earn the actual income. But in order to earn the actual income, you have to be able to speak a certain way. You have to be able to translate that information to the person who it needs to be translated to. Now, the hard thing about this is that there's so many people in the world that don't care about what's going on. So you have that fighting against your dream. But the thing that's going to have you moving forward is what are you going to do to fight for your dream? What are you going to do to make sure that you're moving forward day after day? If you go to work for your kids, if you work for yourself, or, if you do what you're doing but you hate doing it, you can change that. Literally, you can change that overnight. Because I always hear it, people saying, hey, I hate my job. I hate where I work. I hate the things that I do. But then I say, okay, I understand you hate it. Yeah, I don't like someone telling me what to do. I don't like clocking in. I don't like when I'm sick, I have to go there. I said, okay, well, why do you do it? And the first thing they say is because I got bills. I got a daughter. I got this car note I have to pay. I have insurance. I have this. I have that. And I always say, why don't you use all those same reasons for when you're working for yourself or doing something that you actually enjoy? Because those are the same things that actually motivate us and help us move forward in life. That is the difference in between doing something that somebody else tells you to do and doing it for yourself. Like most people say, okay, let's go work a job to make money. That's because most people don't like working for themselves. And I admit, it is much easier to go work for somebody else, to go clock in and clock out. But at the end of the day, I had to assess for myself that was not the way to go. And there are a group of other people that I talk to on a daily basis that have decided that's not the way to go. Literally, we already know that if you don't find a way to make money while you're not working, you will work till you die. That is plain and simple. But I'm living proof that you guys can actually make it from wherever you're starting from, and you can actually escalate levels and do things for your family that you've never done before. And all you have to do is just grind. Just have to work hard. That's it. Really working smart. I say work hard, but really working smart. Because I figured it out. I said, okay, if I go and work for somebody, they're going to make me do 8 hours to 12 hours or more. And I'm going to do that 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And then after 2 weeks or a week, I'm going to look at the money I have, and then I'm going to spend all that. And you know what happened? I was never able to go do the things that I wanted to do to move forward. I was never able to go out there and crush it or buy a Lamborghini like I thought. I was never able to really move up in the company, although they kept telling me, we have you at this spot in the company because you work harder than most people. You got to grind. So I got tired of that. And I say, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to go to work for my daughter. It doesn't make sense for me to go to work for my son or my kids that I'm trying to build something for. And then when they ask me, hey, Dad, can I have the simplest things? You can't afford them because you have bills. And I figured it out on my end. That's purely because of laziness on your end. If your children want something that's reasonable and you can't give it to them, and you're saying you're working this job, or even if you want something that's reasonable and you can't get it, like a house that's so reasonable, so easy to get, and you have to really evaluate why are you doing what you're doing. Because if you spend this entire year and you have not saved anything, guess what? Next year, you're not going to save anything. Because I guarantee that if you look back year after year after year, you never saved anything, but you kept doing the same thing, trying to make these goals that you never hit. But if you open up a business for yourself, you guys will hit goals. If you grind, you will see the fruit. If you sit there and say, there's no way out, I can't do it, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, you'll never make it. And that's why people say just start. Because I used to do that once upon a time. I used to say, well, I don't have X, Y, Z, so I can't make a business work. And you know what happened? Life hit me hard to where a business was all that I had. And I fought for it. Because I'm not going to let somebody make me give up. That is just not what we're here to do. We're here to move forward. We're here to actually earn an income. We're here to set up our family for generational wealth. And the only way you can actually set up your family for generational wealth is to find a way to actually make money while you sleep. And the way to make money while you sleep is, of course, selling a product or a service. That is the only way for you to make money while you sleep, unless you have so much money, you can just put that money into the stock market and it makes so much money for you. But the average person doesn't have it. The average person that start out, if you start doing a calculation while you're in school, how much do houses cost, cars cost, insurance cost, you'll find out that the average person is in debt before they ever even go to school. But it's never clicked their mind to say, if I have to pay $70,000 to have all this stuff just to start life, and I don't have any of it, but they tell you go to school and you go to school, and then you'll get a job that you're only making a fraction of dollars or whatever to try to make it to the other side, to try to pay for all these things. If you evaluated that, you would say, hey, it doesn't make sense. With all the information, you would say it doesn't make sense to go and get a job where I'm making $25 an hour, but I got a $70,000 bill that I have to have paid. You would go find a way to go make money to where you can say, I need to hit that $70,000 goal much quicker. And that's what we have people doing literally with our company. We literally have people who have nothing. We have tons of story. People had nothing. They started on a free trial and they were able just to go out there and work and show business owners something that they need. Everybody knows that you need Google, Bing, Yelp, or any other major site. So all we're doing is we're just giving these business owners a software. And they're loading their customer base into it. And what it's doing is it's posting so many good reviews on major sites that these business owners actually get to the top of Google. So when you search them, you can pick the best service, the best person to service you. And we're actually saving lives. How would you feel if you was able to take a Google, if you were able to take a business from page 4 of Google and put them on page 1? Do you know how much money they would be willing to pay you? Do you know how much time you'd be saving them? And then, not only that, you'd be able to do things for your family that actually matter. Grinding, learning daily basis on how to succeed and how to make your money work for you instead of you working for other people. The biggest thing most people fail in life to realize is that you have the power to do everything. And I had to learn that too. I had to learn that I have the power to actually succeed, or I have the power to actually focus on making money to move forward. And then I wrote down the things that were holding me back. Anything that held me back, if I had to wake up earlier, if I had to grind harder, if I had to talk a certain way, I'm willing to do it to move forward, to get to another slot or a position ahead of myself to secure my family that much more. I'm willing to work hard. Because when you're doing this and you're earning an income working hard, it feels greater than anything else. It literally feels better than any other feeling I ever had in my work in life. Because whenever I made money, when it was traditionally working through a job and I was struggling, I'm gonna tell you, I got happy it was payday, but I was always angry the day of payday because we were all broke. So I kept asking myself, I said, it doesn't make sense to keep working a job where you go there, you hate it, day after day, month after month, year after year. You never really have a good day. A good day to you is the whole day going by fast. It's a good day. And I didn't really think that should have been part of my assessment. I don't think that should have been something that I should have been looking forward to. But because I was an employee, that's what I look forward to. I looked forward to quitting time before I even started. I had to figure out that I want to call off on a job before I even started. And what you do what you do in this lifetime, right, adds up. Whatever you are or are not able to leave your children, that's completely upon you. It's nobody else's fault. Just like when you reach of age, it's nobody else's fault for your own predicament or your position. But so many people in life focus on doing what everybody else does. Get a job because it feels better to see you doing something that we all do. But when you're trying to do something for yourself that's outside of the box, then that's when you have most people saying, "Oh, I hope it works out for you. I hope you enjoy your day. I don't know. I'm not interested." And most people actually quit. And all you're doing is just making progress. Every time you connect with somebody, you're making progress. The reason why is because if you talk to somebody and they don't want your product or service, well, guess what? You just got better at figuring out who does and who doesn't want your product or service. If you talk to somebody and you find out that they keep saying the same thing, and then you overcome that objective and you find out that they're more receptive to what you have to offer, then you start thinking and saying, hey, maybe I can take this a step further. And when you actually get a sale that you didn't have to go clock in or punch a clock for just to make the money, you become ecstatic because you're that much closer to taking your family out of poverty. You're that much closer to ranking up. You're that much closer to moving forward in life. And most people give up before they even start. That's why if you guys ever pay attention when you're listening to powerful motivational speakings and you're listening to all these people that you probably saved up money for and paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for their training, and you hoping that it's something in this training that's gonna make you a millionaire overnight or 30 days from now or 60 days from now, and then you get it, and then you pop that in to your actual CD player. Well, now we don't even have CD players. It's really outdated. But let's say you pop that in electronically and you listen to it how you listen to it via cell phone or via PC. When you start finding out that everybody keeps saying the same thing: work, grind, improve yourself. Get up. Work, grind, improve yourself. Get up. And you start saying, I can keep spending money going to different motivational speakers if I need to be motivated. But the problem is that you no longer need to be motivated. You need to have a ridiculously sick work ethic to move forward. You need to be able to understand that life is not all roses and people don't owe you anything. That's why a lot of people quit doing business, period. It's because when everybody starts a business, everybody has the same idea. I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be number one. I'm going to get my piece. But when you go talk to 10 different people that say, hey, I don't want your product or service, you start thinking that it's the worst thing in the world for you to work this business, or God picks you to not be successful, or the millionaires don't want you even in their path because 10 people told you no. But it never really clicks to your head that the light bulb, that action of trying to turn on the light bulb over 1,000 times. Over 1,000 times. How many of us would have actually quit? Because when I thought about that, I said, you're right. I probably would have quit after the 12th time. Definitely by the time I got to 50, I was gonna quit. Because you do it 50 times, I can't figure out how to turn on a light bulb. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But even then, even if I took it a step further, 500. Oh, I done ruined my whole life. 500 times I can't turn on a light bulb? No, I'm okay. I'm good. But you know what? He kept realizing I'm making progress. I'm making progress. I don't have everything that everybody else have. I'm not the best in the world. I'm not the greatest. I'm starting from small beginnings. But you know what? I'm gonna keep going. Yes, it's crazy. I'm up to 600, 700 times. I still ain't turned on a light bulb. But when he cracked that one time, see, it's crazy. You failed 999 times, or maybe 1,000 and something. But once you get to the 1,001, 1,002, you made it. You figured out how to turn the light bulb on. Now what? You in control. You in control of seeing the future. That people are going to be able to one day have this electro show, this electro lighting. We're going to be able to use this. And that's what they originally called it, you know. They had it at festivals and carnivals. And they were saying, hey, the world's going to be going in a brand new wave because of these light bulbs. But nobody ever sits back and say, I'm going to try to invent something to actually change the world. I'm going to try to move forward because I got a life. I have my own decisions. I got free will. I can do whatever I want to do in this lifetime to succeed and to move forward. You have the power in your hands to be greater. You have the power to have a higher work ethic. If you don't have the money in your bank account that you want today, tomorrow, or next year, and you're doing the same thing, you should try something new. You should try to go and succeed in doing something that actually makes you happy and makes you great. Because no one deserves to be a failure, and no one is a failure. Most people watch, few people do. That's what makes someone great. Say it again in case you guys didn't know. Most people watch, few people do. That's what makes them great. And if you guys can get that through your head, that most people are going to watch professional basketball. Most people are going to watch other people get their car fixed. Most people are going to watch other people buy things from Amazon. But guess what? Few people do. And those few people do make those who are doing it look exceptional and great. And you say, hey, I could probably never do what they're doing. I could probably never earn an income like that. I probably could never join the ranks. I don't know. But guess what? It'll shock you. When you put in the work and you say it doesn't matter what you look like, what you smell like, what you talk like, all that matters is that you work. And when you work and you do something that you are proud of and you actually got over the first hump, well, then you got to watch out. Because you're a very powerful person then. You got the power in your hand and you just got done understanding that you have the power to move forward. You have the power to actually get your mom a house. Or you have the power to fill up your bank account and create so much generational wealth for yourself from starting from nothing. And when you think about it, you might say, okay, well, it's 10 things that I don't have. Write that down. But then write down 10 things that you do have. If you have a TV, what are TVs used for? Information. You could start studying what you might want to do. You have a cell phone that's used for information. Study what you want to do. You have a computer, information. Study what you want to do. Those are 3 sources that people are all using to generate income. 3 of them. People are using all 3 of those sources. And if you have access to all 3 of those sources, then you're just sitting around doing nothing. When you can move forward, you can actually go from the bottom to the top. And it won't happen overnight, but it happens with small beginnings. Because if you look at Amazon compared to how it was when it first began, it's small beginnings. And most people said that he was crazy for doing what he's doing. But you know what's not crazy? When we order that package from Amazon and we get whatever we want and they dropped it off, yeah. You know who look crazy? The people who watch. So you guys can keep watching or you can start doing. You guys can start succeeding and moving forward in life. Because when you do that, you can set up anybody you want to set up. You can understand how to manage anything that you want to manage. All you have to do is put it in your mind that if you can do it, believe it, you can achieve it. That's why people say anything you put your mind to, you can do. You can. And I'm living proof of that. Literally, I thought about that before. I said, man, I got to get that Black Mamba spirit. I got to be ready to grind harder than everybody else. I got to get there. I got to get there. Until one day, I just started doing the work. And once you start doing the work, the crazy thing about it was that the income came. But I had to stop falling in love with that income first. Doesn't mean I don't want it. Those are my reasons why. I want to grind, get to the top, get this, get that. Those are reasons why. But I found another reason for why I hunt to get to that process. And if you can find different reasons on why you're hunting to get to that process, then you became a powerful person. Because a lion got to hunt. They don't care how many times they went through the process to eat. It's when they eat, that's when they feel full. They okay. I'm gonna get that taste again. Once I get hungry, I'm gonna get that taste again. If people only was able to eat by working for themselves, I would be surprised at how many people self-motivate themselves to move forward. You would be surprised at how many people don't depend on anybody else because they're going to find something they got to sell, something that means value so they can move forward. You know, during the pandemic, and we still, I guess, sort of in the pandemic, I don't really know. I believe in God, so I don't pay attention to all that stuff. But I really noticed something. During the pandemic, you started seeing everybody have a side hustle. And you haven't seen that since, what, the 70s? The 60s, the 70s, you haven't seen that in years. They're like, people had side hustles before all of this, you're right, but people's side hustles, they would do on like a day off in a small little time. Now when the pandemic hit and people lost their jobs left and right, you got people next door neighbors, I'm selling shrimp. What? Yeah, I'm selling shrimp because we got ends we got to make. You ain't even got a food license. You selling shrimp. Making money. Moving forward. And I'm like, it's crazy. You start finding out how many people start having hustles. They don't have the necessities. They don't have the requirements. What do you call it? The license to do it, but they go get it done. All because they're hungry to move forward. All because they understand that I ain't got tomorrow. I got today, and I got something I'm going to do tomorrow or next week. Or I got Christmas. I want it to look the way I want it to look. And they didn't need another person to tell them that. But when you got majority of everybody working a job, it just, and I don't hate you guys for it at all. You do whatever you feel you got to do to move forward. But I'm just saying, you think about it yourself. Have you become demotivated since you worked the job? Or have you became more motivated? Have you done more things with your life than what you would ever do if you just worked for yourself? And I'm not talking about you started this business, you tried it because you called 20 people. I'm talking about, did you try to take the Thomas Edison route? Did you try to do this over 1,000 times before you decided that it didn't work for you? Did you try to actually implement getting better instead of just going through the numbers? Because I've been there before. I just want to run through the numbers and I'll get there. No, it's about quality over quantity. Once you start realizing that, okay, this isn't just a spiel or this isn't a script that people just say here and there. This is something that they're doing every time. So, boom, you could be a business owner right here and there. They're going to ask you, hey, what do you do? What I do is I start taking businesses just like yours in the service industry. I put them at the top of Google. Because here's the thing. You can pull it up. Boom. You got a 4.3 rating on Google, but you don't have 50 or 200 customers this year. Have you only had 200 customers this year? And they always say, no, we've had way more than that. I was talking to someone today. They said, we have more than those amount of customers come in a month. I said, wow, but you have 53 reviews. You said, yeah. I said, not all of them are good. I said, you know what's happening is you don't have enough of your happy customers that you're servicing leaving you a review. And that actually helps you. The reason why is because if you were actually having your customers post to Google, Bing, Yelp, or any other major site, you would be at the top of Google. You would save tons of money. You'd get so much traction that you'd eventually be able to open up multiple locations. And once people start understanding that, wow, okay, he can speak really well. He knows what he's talking about. It didn't come from overnight. It came from continuously practicing, continuously saying, okay, if I failed yesterday, I'm going to do this to succeed today. And maybe I didn't do that well yesterday. Okay, but guess what? It was yesterday. Nobody really cares about yesterday. Everybody feels some kind of way because they're like, oh, I care about yesterday. I care about this and I seen this or I seen that, but it's never really on their mind. It's always about what you can do today. Even when you play sports, that's why we say sports is the greatest thing, because you could dunk on somebody yesterday, but the game tomorrow, they could dunk on you. You can be the meme tomorrow, but tomorrow somebody else can be a meme. Literally, you can be the hottest today, but tomorrow somebody else can be the hottest. And we see that time after time, so much proof. And I always like to hear what people say. People always said, you know, if this is the best rapper, singer, actor, whatever, if they were still alive, this would not be happening. You know, this wouldn't be going on the way it's going on. But guess what? God sees the beginning and the end. And these people, they didn't see the end because no man knows the time or the hour they're going to die. Nobody just knows that exactly. I guarantee you, if everybody knows exactly when they're going to die at the time they're going to die, they're not going to spend life doing what they're doing. If they're not being happy, if they're not moving forward, because they finally understand that, hey, we're all going to go to the grave, or we're all going to get buried, whatever. But one thing that is not for sure is where you start, you won't be for sure to end up in that place. And that's guaranteed. You got people who've worked jobs for 35 years and they said, hey, you know, you're getting up there in age now and we're going to lay you off, or we're just going to let you do, you know, we're going to let you retire. You did good. We're going to retire you. But guess what? That worker who's been doing that, do you know what they've missed time after time? Countless birthday parties, countless vacations, countless fun trips, all this stuff that they missed, and now you telling them they can go on their own free accord, their own free will, and you're going to let them get an early retirement. But guess what? They don't even have enough money. I remember when I was in school, I had a teacher who said when she retired, she's going to have $100,000. $100,000. Well, let's say if she made $300,000, right? Let's say she had $300,000. What are you going to do with $300,000? And all you have to do, what was it? It's 66 now, right? Yeah, it's 66. You're lucky to live to see 70 or 80. Okay, let's say you live to see 70 or 80. The people who say they have this much money put up, you got to look at it. 9 times out of 10, their houses are not paid off. Their cars are not paid off. Their recurring bills are not permanently taken care of. They're living off of something that they're trying to keep living at the same lifestyle, which they once were. But you can't, because now you have to make sure that this $300,000 goes to pay whatever you owe, and you have to have that for the rest of your life. What if that person lived to be 91 years old and they had nothing left? How would you feel being 91 years old and you literally have to go collect Social Security, and then you have to get a part-time job to get you some fun money, some spending money? And the craziest thing is what you've done for 35 years is no longer available because of your age. You guys just got to think, what will make you more successful? Because I was fine. I thought about that. I said, you know what? I feel so good, I'll call businesses for the rest of my life. But I guarantee you, if I'm 91 years old, I'm not going to be forced to have to do anything, because we're already doing the work now. We're already found a way to make money while we sleep. And we're so serious with this, is that when we don't meet our goals, we don't cry about them and say it's impossible, we'll never get there. We don't make up 1,000,001 excuses. We just say what we did today, all right, we're gonna go harder. If I gave 80% today, I'm going 100 tomorrow. If I gave 100 tomorrow, I'm going 120. If I go 120, I'm going 140. I'm going 140, I'm trying to get to 160. I'm finally trying to top what I did the day before. And it all becomes down to one thing: the work ethic, the grind. What am I doing today to set myself up for tomorrow? What am I doing today to be able to live like for tomorrow? What can I do in life today that's going to set up my kids? I always tell people, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your kids. I love my mom to death. My mom always said to me, I go to work for you. I go to work to make sure you have clothes on your back and a food in the house and a meal on your table. I go to work for you to be able to do this. So I always ask, I said, well, Mom, what did you do that you wanted to do for yourself? What did you do that you wanted to do for yourself? Because all of us have dreams, but Mom, what was your dream? And she looked at me and she said, well, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to act and be on, stage plays like Tyler Perry and eventually, be in movies and things like that. I wanted to do that. So I said, Mom, what happened? And she told me, she said, well, I went to an audition one day. An audition one day. One audition. One day. Put them together. I'll give it 2. And she said the guy looked at my picture, looked at me and said I would never be shit and told me to get the fuck out of his office. Sorry for speaking that way, but it's a true story, guys. This is what she said. But that stopped her. It stopped her from moving forward. It stopped her from ever going to go do something that most people wouldn't do. That low self-esteem thing I noticed. I said, wow. I'm looking at how many people in my family before me in my bloodline that actually worked the job. And I'm looking at how many of them actually made it out and how many of them didn't. And I keep finding the same thing happen. It's like, boom, if this person owned a business and did well, and then this person didn't want to do it, so they had to go work for somebody else. Their children started working for other people. And then after that, they started working for other people. Nobody went back to work for themselves. But when you find out what was it that make people not work for themselves, low self-esteem. And it ain't nothing but the devil, fear. So you get that low self-esteem out of you. You get that fear out of you, and you're going to start understanding where you can be in life, and you're going to start changing your life, and you're going to start setting up your kids, because it's not going to be, oh, life is hard, it's this and that. Life is what you make it. That's what you're going to be able to tell your kids. Life is what you do today for tomorrow. Life is who you talk to today, how you can help them to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow. So life ain't all fun and games, but guaranteed life is a game. So have fun. And if you like videos like this and you want more motivational, powerful videos, please click my YouTube video channels to subscribe. Thank you.